Today I'm excited to be checking out this power station here by ALLPOWERS. Now they did send me this for free. They said check it out, see what I think. I do need to go through the manual and everything. I just got it out of the box. They also sent me the kit that comes with the solar panel, so it's not just a power station, it's actually a solar generator. So let me get this all unboxed, read through the manual, and we're gonna play around with this thing, see how well it does. All right, so I've got everything unboxed and I've went through the manual, so let's check out some of the things here while I am charging it. So if you look right here, you can see it's charging right now at 317 watts. The input through the power cord connection, which is all on this side, can go all the way up to 400 watts. It's going to regulate itself, so basically what it's doing now is what it's intending to do, but 317 watts is going to charge this pretty quick. Then you take in the fact that you can use this as a UPS. So let's say you're somewhere that maybe has electricity, but it's not real stable. You can power your laptop, your router, your phone, modems, all of that kind of stuff that you need. And if for some reason power gets dropped, well, this is still powering all your equipment. It's just using the battery inside. Power comes back on, it jumps back into charging the battery and powering everything that way. So being the R600 power station, this model here has 2 AC ports in the front, and together these combine up to 600 watts normal operation, and then they can peak up to 1200 watts for a temporary short period of time. You have a 12 volt accessory plug here that can go up to 12 volts 10 amps. So we have 2 USB-C ports here. They both can power up to 100 watts each, so 200 watts total from the USB-C. Then you have 2 USB-A ports down here, and I believe they share 36 watts. It does have a LED light here in the front, so in case you need light, it's dark environment, you can just turn that on. You've got the power button here. These are your buttons also to turn on AC and DC. And then this little sticker here tells you if you hold the DC button for 3 seconds, it enables Bluetooth, because it does have a Bluetooth app to let you control this and see all the specs. It also has a wireless induction mat built here on the top. It says output 15 watts, so if you want to lay your phone or your headphones or anything else that can handle induction charging, you can just lay that on top of this unit and it gets charged. And of course you can see it's got the built-in handle. There's actually nothing on the back. It's a passive, just flat panel on the back. And then underneath it's just got the serial number and everything, so it's pretty much just a basic panel. On the sides, you can see here it's got a really nice network of fins to allow the air to move through. The fan is running while it's charging, but you can just barely hear fan noise going on. And I can feel wind moving through that, so it feels like it's going this direction. But it is cool that it has a nice amount of openings here, so air can actually freely move that pretty easy and keep this thing cooler. So this side is where I have, of course, the power plug here. Again, this can go up to 400 watts. This is the solar panel plug, so you can get up to 220 watts input from solar panels. So that's where this big solar panel in the back's coming in. This is a 200 watt solar panel, which is pretty much reaching close to the maximum of what this can handle. So we're gonna try using that to charge this and see how well it's gonna work. But that's awesome that you have a 200 watt solar panel, because now you can push in 200. A lot of these will only do usually around 100. So this one will actually let you charge it quicker, and with a 200 watt panel, of course, that's twice as fast. It does have a breaker built in, so if something trips or you run something too hot, that's gonna trip and you just reset it there. Another thing I like about this power station is it has a Bluetooth app that you can, connect together, so you can do things. Like right now it's showing you it's got 100%, and let's say I wanted to turn the AC on. I just turned the AC power on, and then I had this fan plugged in and it just turned it on. So this is great for, let's say we're in our RV and I have some kind of fan hooked up to it, and I want to be able to just turn it on, turn it off whenever I want. Same thing with lights, anything like that. It makes it just, that much easier to use. And not all of my power stations have this. Actually, most of my power stations don't even have Bluetooth, which to me is almost a requirement now in most of these items like this. So the fact that it has it and the fact that it makes it very easy to use, can give you constant readouts on how much power you're using, how long that's gonna last. Like I said, the ability to just turn things on and off, it's awesome. So what good would a review be if we didn't actually use the unit? So I've been playing with the different ports and trying to pull power out of it. I'm down to about 77% because I'm not charging it, I'm just pulling from it. Right now, the only thing I have on is I have the DC power on, and it is charging my phone through the induction port up here. Even though this is a Pixel with the camera that sticks off the back and it's got a case, you know, it's still charging the phone with no problem. So it's got a pretty good range there on that. Then I have a heat gun turned into here, which is way more power than this thing can handle, but it will do pretty good with just the fan on. And I was earlier trying to stress it to see how well this thing would work when it overloaded. And it did great. It went into some error modes and stuff, and that was pretty normal. And this thing is probably gonna, look at that, 800 and something watts. Yeah, see, it tripped it again. It's because this thing kicks it up really high. I do know that putting the heating element on this is too much for it, right? It's only 600 watts. So I also have a 200 watt charging power supply that's on here that charges another adapter. So I'm gonna just start hitting some buttons on here, and we're just gonna see, you know, just how well it reacts. So let's turn on AC also. I have a little power strip here that has an on and off switch on it. Now we're gonna go ahead and turn this on without turning on the heating element because I don't wanna, you know, overload it again. And on high, it pulls about another 100 watts. So now we're gonna be pushing around 300 watts continuous. But I'm gonna go ahead and just let this run for a while and just see how well it can handle just, you know, a basic average load, make sure it doesn't have any problems. And I'm gonna go around and see if I can find anything else to kind of get this closer to a 600 watt average. So I'll be right back. All right, well, I plugged in another device. This is all I can find right now, but it's performing exactly how I would expect it to. Over 500 again. I saw 800 earlier. Yeah, I mean, it seems to be running great. No issues that I've seen so far. I have seen it spike up to 800, 850 while I was messing with it earlier. Like I said, it can peak up to 1200 watts though, but not for very long. So you'll want to keep it under 600 watts. All right, well, I've pretty much charged up everything around me that I can find. So I'm going to go ahead and end the test now. It has been bouncing around up to about 550. I've even seen it hit 6 a couple times. It's been great. What I have noticed is, here, let me turn this stuff off. And turn all these other things. So what I've noticed is that it does perform up to the 600 watts, just like it says, great. It does burst up to 1200 probably. I don't have anything specifically to test that quick enough, but it doesn't hold that 1200 very long. So when they say it peaks to 1200, that means for an extremely short period of time, probably just enough for maybe the compressor on a refrigerator to kick on or something like that. So, you know, sub-second type of surges. So I definitely think this thing's gonna live up to what it says it's gonna do. Longevity? I don't know. We're gonna have to find out. I am gonna put this in my truck and make this the power station I start using. So if I get an update on how well it's doing, or if I have any problems in the future, I'll let you know about it. So in my mind, this is actually a very usable size power station. So I've got some really large power stations that are heavy, but they're mostly meant to like power the RV or something large. Then I've got some, you know, smaller power stations that really, well, they kind of keep my phone charged up and they're there for little small things, but they're not even big enough to really run my laptop, things like that. This one here though, this size, this format, 600 watts can do a lot. It can do most of the things in the middle. So I can charge my phone, I could run my laptop off this, I could put my wireless modem on this, you could have a router, I mean, you could run a TV off of this. So we have a 12-volt electric ice chest that we bring with us a lot of times. You could run that off of this. You could run a small refrigerator off of this. So there's just so many things you could run off of this in the mid-size range. So this isn't gonna run like a large coffee pot or cooker, things like that usually, but this is a great size for all the little gadgets and the electronics and the tech that you have to bring around with you. So that's one of the reasons I always have one of these in my truck with me. You just never know when you're gonna need it, and I find myself using them quite often. So with all that said, I'm gonna show you what I typically do with something this size when I'm in my truck, and I set up the solar panel, and I set up a small unit like this, and it provides me everything I need. So let's go ahead and bring this outside, and I'll show you what I mean. All right, so I'm outside now, and I've got this set up like I would do where I'm away from home. I'm using my truck as my office. This tailgate gets used a whole lot as a workspace, and I use portable stations like this, and I think this one is now gonna be my new go-to. If you notice here, I don't know how well it's showing up in the video, but I am getting about 120 watts out of the 200 watt solar panel, and I have it sitting on top of my truck. Let me show you that real quick. So as you can see here, I've got the solar panels across the bed cover on my truck. Very common way for me to set these up. And then I've got the wires from that connected to the power station. The solar panel does come with this cable here that goes from your regular solar connectors, MC4 connectors, to the connector that is needed for this specific power station. But it also comes with, which is really cool, these extra ports here that lets you connect either to other power stations that you have or other devices. So you can convert the ends to all of these. I actually have another power station that uses this port here. So I can use this solar panel with that. And to do that, it comes with this cable with this end. So very cool panel. I really like the solar panel that it came with, and I love the fact that it came with all of these extra connectors to use it. 116 watts. First of all, that's way better than I normally get because I only have 100 watt panels, not 200 watt panels that fold out. And I'm usually only in sun like this, which isn't, I don't have direct sun right now. It's kind of the side. So I'd probably get better if I kick those up on their little kickstands. But I usually don't do that because if you put them on the kickstands and you walk away, the wind can blow the panel. So a lot of times I leave the panels laying completely flat and I just get what I get. And I've never had trouble with them getting blown off my truck. This is usually either tucked in, or I usually have something over this so it doesn't get real hot, because you don't want these to get too overheated. You know, this is great. It's gonna have my cell phone sitting up here charging. It's gonna have my computer and my wireless router and modem all hooked up to this. It's gonna be more than enough power to handle that. So I do really like this form factor. I do really like this device. And so far, this thing has been really cool. And then pairing this R600 with the solar panels that they sell, I mean, it makes a perfect kit. So I really like it. I'm pretty impressed. Time will tell on how well this does, but build quality and everything on this seems to be pretty nice. It's got a lot of airflow here. I really like that. Not too many of my power stations have airflow like this. I love the built-in breaker too, so that way you don't overload this thing. It's got, you know, self-protection. And I love the fact that you can just plug it in with regular plug. You've got the outlet, and you can also charge these at the same time. So if you have power and you want to charge this with solar, you can charge this thing even faster with 2 different chargers. Now, you don't want to charge this thing too quickly. It's got 299 watt hours, I think it is, of power, and lithium batteries only want to be charged so quickly. So if you don't need it charged really quick, I wouldn't, you know, say do all of that. Batteries are going to work a lot better if you just charge them at, you know, a good slow rate. But if you do need it charged quickly, you have the capability of doing that. Very cool power station. Really like it. I'm interested to check out some more of their line, and if they send me any other ones, I'll definitely do videos on them. But yeah, I like it. I hope all this information was helpful. Thank you very much for watching. Y'all take care.